our next chapter, the types of economies. Chapter 4, types of economies. Now, in types of economies, we will learn about the different types of economies based on certain factors. First type, the category, is how they are being operated. An economy is governed by or operated by a certain class. It may be private, it may be government, it may be mixed. So based on this category, we will learn the types. Next, we will go into the difference in the growth or development. A country is developed or a country is developing, so the difference between there, okay, and the difference between growth and development, we will come to it later on. So first category is our types of economy. There, an economy can be categorized into three types. One is the capitalist economy, other is the socialist economy, and the third one is the mixed economy. Now, the capitalist economy is the first one which we are going to learn, where the economy is mainly governed by the capitalist class. The entire production process or the entire productive mechanism is governed by the capitalist class, that is the private class. And government has minimum intervention. And most of the developed countries have the production, most of the productive mechanism conducted by the capitalist class. So there you have the capitalist economy. If you want to define an economy where the capitalists control the production process with minimum government intervention. Okay. Next comes the characteristics. We need to learn the characteristics of this capitalist economy. According to your syllabus, you need to know the meaning, the characteristics, and the differences. So the meaning and characteristics first. Characteristics of capitalist economy: freedom of producers. Now the producers in the economy are free to produce anything they like, okay? Like there is no bar except some very restricted items like arms and ammunitions, hazardous drugs. All other than these, most of the products the producers are free, means what business they want to do they can decide on their own. Okay. Next we have the freedom of consumers. Freedom of consumers in the sense a consumer can choose any product. It is not guided by anyone, it is not guided by government, it is not guided by any economic force. So a consumer can choose any product. You as a consumer, I am a consumer. So we can choose our product, whatever we want to buy, we can go for it. Next, right to own private property. Now the property, landed property, we say landed inheritance. Right to own property means the private property can be owned by private, okay, maybe private individuals, maybe organizations, and there is a factor of inheritance. So there exists in the capitalist economy. Laissez-faire state. Now this is a word, you please note it carefully. Listen, that laissez-faire state means with minimum government intervention. Government does not come and intervene. Yes, do this. This should be the price. You cannot produce so much of this. You cannot put the price of this at such a level. No, these government interventions are not there. That's for such an economy we call it a laissez-faire state. Okay. Existence of free market mechanism and price mechanism. Now please listen carefully here. Free market mechanism or price mechanism means the price of the product, how it is set. It is set in the market. We as consumers demand for a commodity or demand for different commodities. Producers on the other hand are producing different commodities. Now where does that interaction take place? That interaction takes place in the market. Producers are ready to sell. They are offering at different prices. They are ready to sell so much quantities. The consumers are buying, or they are willing to buy different quantities of a commodity at different prices. Now when they come into force, when they come together, they interact. Maybe in a marketplace where they can physically bargain, physically talk about. Is not only that is not the only market. Today you are doing so much of online shopping, so virtual markets, okay, online markets where you are seeing the price, judging the quality of the product, you are seeing the different descriptions of the product, the use of the product, and then you are finally deciding. So there the producers and the consumers are interacting the market, as we have studied in the previous chapter also. So this, in the market, the forces of demand and the forces of supply, the supply forces and the demand forces come into action, and the price is set in the market according to the forces of demand and supply. Okay, then you have allocation of resources through price mechanism. Now these different resources for production, different resources, you talk about labor. Labor is also a market where their bargaining takes place according to the wage rate, the supply of labor, demand for labor, all these works. As in due course of time, as you grow up, if you progress with your studies in economics, then you will come to all details, you will come to know, you will study with those things. Now allocation of resources, so labor market, capital market where you have the raw materials. So every item, they are produced and sold in the market, they are demanded in the market, therefore you have a market, or the allocation of resources are also done by the forces of demand and supply. If there is an additional demand, there is an excess demand in the market, then the prices go up to meet, or there is a shortage of supply, the prices go up. It happens in the market. It can be said, it is normally said that some invisible hand is working that brings the price up and ultimately adjusts the demand and supply in the market. So allocation of resources are done through price mechanism. And finally, in a capitalist market, you need to have a profit motive. There is a profit motive. Profit without profit, the government goes for, if there is a government sector, then government may go for without profits. Okay, no profit, no loss for the society, for the economy. But capitalists, they are earning. The profit is their return for investment, for start doing their business and all these things. So profit motive for the capitalist also exists in a capitalist economy. So these are the characteristic features of capitalist economy that we need to learn.